Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 42. I'm John Cooney, here to talk to you about comics released the 21st of November 2012. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We'll begin with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books that I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them. Starting with number 1, X Factor number 247. This is back at the top of my list, only 2 weeks after issue 246. Issue 247 features a newly married X Factor couple attempting to honeymoon in the happiest place on Earth, but instead they face off with a villain hoping to bring about Hell on Earth. This is building to the Hell on Earth war that Peter David teased 15 years ago in his run on Incredible Hulk that I discussed 2 weeks ago in the preview for 246. When asked about which characters he'd like to include in the event, Peter David responded, quote, "All of them. Seriously, man, every single demonic character, every single hero, I'd love to make use of all of them. Since I don't think it's likely, though, I'll settle for whom I can." Close quote. At number 2 this week, we've got Wolverine and the X-Men number 21, just 1 week after issue 20, which I ranked number 6 last week. But when I gave the solicitation for the issue last week, it wound up having nothing to do with the actual book that was published. Last week's issue number 20 wound up being about Angel and Mystique attempting to recruit a new young mutant in Brazil, and the solicitation from last week instead applies to 21, where Storm joins the faculty of the Jean Grey School, Wolverine is a clown, Iceman is a fire swallower, and Rachel Gray is a fortune teller. Frankenstein's murder circus comes to town. As far as Storm's arrival, series writer Jason Aaron said, quote, "I'm a huge Storm fan, so when I knew the Utopia team was breaking up, I wanted to bring her in. I love having strong women in the book, so she joins Kitty and Rachel. There's something going on with Logan and Storm as well. They have a long history." Close quote. At number 3, we've got Catwoman number 14. This is the death of the family tie-in. Catwoman's caught in the Joker's trap as he toys with her mind, but the Joker should beware because Catwoman always comes to play. Series writer Ann Nocenti said, quote, "When the death of the family storyline was masterminded by Scott Snyder, editor Rachel Glucksten called me and said, 'Do you want to play in this playground?' And I was like, yes, of course. I always thought the Joker was one of the greatest villains of all time. What I like about the villainy of the Joker is that it ranges from almost Three Stooges-like humor, just sort of gags and stand-up, all the way to stuff that's so dark, especially with the Heath Ledger performance. He's been given a huge range as a villain. He's not stuck in one dimension. He's got a real scattershot aspect to his insanity and wants to fool with people, and sometimes he gets really dark. I love the idea of being able to play with a really dark Joker." Of issue 14, she says, quote, "Things get really wacky because he enters the scene and we show how he's messing with her head, but he's a twisted genius, so he's laying the groundwork. You get the feeling that the Joker's just become obsessed with everything surrounding Batman and everyone around Batman, and he's going at each one in different fashions." Close quote. At number 4, we've got Indestructible Hulk number 1. This is a Marvel Now relaunch for the Jade Giant. New series writer Mark Waid says, quote, "I'm actually trying to take them on the most imaginative Marvel Universe-based ride I can concoct. We want to bring Bruce Banner and the Hulk into the Marvel Universe tapestry, and the easiest way to do that is to make Hulk an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Why does my tombstone have to read Hulk Smash?" Waid said of Banner. So he's gone through S.H.I.E.L.D. and has cut a relationship with them. It's a good deal all around, but there are layers to it that you'll see in the first issue. Close quote. And at number 5, we've got Captain America number 1. This is another Marvel Now relaunch, written by Rick Remender and drawn by John Romita Jr. A new book will have a science fiction adventure tone, with the split focus on Steve Rogers' time before his transformation, when he was just a scrawny kid living in the Great Depression. Remender said, quote, "It's important to show Steve earning the tenacity and heart because you're not born with that. What you learn from your parents and the people around you informs your decision and choices that define who you become." Close quote. Series editor Tom Brevoort said, quote, "When Rick and I first started talking about doing Cap stuff, for all the high adventure and sci-fi, there was an element of what Frank Miller did to Daredevil in Born Again, tearing him down and taking everything away to build him back up. We're throwing Cap down into a place where he's completely out of his element, where the idea of America has no relevance. We're stranding him on a metaphoric desert island and getting to the real core of what drives this character. We'll learn one thing about him that really drives the first year." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Harbinger number 6. After a crushing defeat at the hands of his would-be mentor, Peter Stanchek lies critically wounded, and the only person who can save him is the person that hates him the most, his childhood love, Chris Hathaway. As Hereda's Eggbreaker strike force closes in, the helpless Peter wonders if he is going to find forgiveness at Chris's door or unbridled vengeance. but when Faith returns as the superhero that she's always dreamed of being, the game is going to change for everyone involved. At number 7, also from Valiant, we've got X-O Manowar number 7, X-O Manowar vs. Ninjak. To the victor, Earth. Agents from an alien race known as the Vine have been living in secret among us for centuries, and now they've just been activated for one final mission: purge the Earth of all human life. An invasion fleet is on its way, and the only weapon in existence powerful enough to defeat it is the X-O Manowar armor. But first, Eric must survive his latest encounter with Ninjak, the covert operative and master weapons specialist charged with taking him down. At number 8, we've got Ultimate Comics Spider-Man number 17, the conclusion of the United We Stand story for Spider-Man. With the nation at war, young Spider-Man heeds the call of superhero duty. The secret connection between Miles Morales and Spider-Woman is revealed. At number 9, we've got Ultimate Comics X-Men 18.1, Meet Mach 2. Former Morlock Tunnel refugee turned mutant resistance fighter. Will she side with Kitty Pryde or become a dangerous new enemy? A brave new world for the nation's surviving mutants starts here. And at number 10, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 698, Dying Wish Prelude. The end of Spider-Man's world begins with Dr. Octopus discovering who Peter Parker really is. As for the best of the rest of this week, for DC Comics, we've got Birds of Prey number 14. The Birds of Prey are hot on the tail of a mysterious cult with ties to Katana, but their hunt is about to be intercepted by the powerful force of Condor. And what is the connection between the Birds and Teen Titans? We've got Justice League number 14, the second chapter of the tale that lights the fuse that will ultimately explode in 2013's Trinity War. The League must fight the mysterious Cheetah and a monstrous Superman. The results will radically change the dynamics of the entire team. Amid this, where's Green Lantern? Plus the next chapter of the Shazam backup epic by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. We've also got Nightwing number 14, the epic martial arts throwdown of the year, Nightwing vs. Lady Shiva. Nightwing may be outmatched this time, but he's not going down without a fight. This issue leads directly into the Death of the Family event. We've also got Red Hood and the Outlaws 14. Just as the team gets back to Earth, they are interrupted by Superman. There's a black market alien technology being fenced, and the Man of Steel has traced a connection to the Red Hood. An old friend of Jason's is coming for him, leading up to next month's Death of the Family tie-in issue. We've got Supergirl number 14, a Hell on Earth crossover chapter. Picking up from Superboy number 14, Supergirl meets the villainous Hell. What happens when she finds herself agreeing with his pro-Kryptonian anti-Earth plans? Continuing this month in Superman number 14. And we got Wonder Woman number 14. Wonder Woman's twisted family grows larger than she could have imagined. On the trail of a god who betrayed her, Diana crosses the path of the deadly Shiroka. From Marvel Comics, we've got Astonishing X-Men number 56, the shocking conclusion to Weaponized. A teammate returns, but is he friend or foe? Will Kyle and Northstar survive their first married mission? We've got Avengers number 34. This is the final issue. One of the most controversial and spectacular eras of Avengers comes to a spectacular and controversial, extra-sized all-star conclusion. We've got Captain Marvel number 7. Captain Marvel goes head-to-head with Captain Marvel? Former Captain Monica Rambeau returns. What's her problem with Earth's mightiest hero? Find out why Captain Marvel is the most talked-about series of the year. We've got Daredevil number 20. The year's most critically acclaimed comic book is back as Blind Man Bluff continues. Daredevil's newest threat, the Coyote, is not what Matt expected. Say goodbye to NYC, Matt Murdock. We've got Hawkeye number 4. You won't believe what is on the tape. S.H.I.E.L.D. recruits Clint to intercept incriminating evidence before he becomes the most wanted man in the world. Superstar artist Javier Pulido joins Matt Fraction in Hawkeye thriller that spans the globe and the darkest parts of Clint Barton. We got Iron Man number 2. Tony's hunt for the rogue extremist units takes him to the island of New Camelot, introducing the Circle, a mysterious high-tech brotherhood of mech knights. Iron Man versus the secret Russian Black Exoskeleton Academy's greatest pilot. And we've got Minimum Carnage Omega number 1, the Minimum Carnage finale. Houston's on fire as Carnage's greatest act of evil may be his final hour. The most dangerous web-slingers of all unite with humanity at stake. Cullen Bunn, Chris Yost, and Lan Medina bring this crossover smash hit to its synapse-shattering finale. From IDW, we've got Rocketeer Cargo of Doom number 4. Cliff Secord, a.k.a. the Rocketeer, finds himself flying high over smog-drenched skies of Los Angeles, locked in mortal combat with an ancient and terrifying creature, and then it all starts to go to hell. Plus, the ultimate truth about Peavy's niece is revealed. The final issue of Mark Waid and Chris Samney's Rocketeer series is going full throttle, and the thrills show no sign of slowing down. Miss this comic at your own peril. From Image Comics, we've got Mind the Gap number 6, Wish You Were Here Part 1, New Arc, great jumping on point. Join the mystery everyone is talking about. As one person sits in a jail cell for the crime of attacking Elle Peterson, the accuser is running free. Is the pawn about to become Pain? Meanwhile, Elle is on the brink of contacting the physical world, but will resurfacing memories drive her further away? This issue begins the ending of many relationships as you know them, secrets laid bare, and not everyone will make it out in one piece. Out in trades this week, we've got the 52 Omnibus hardcover. Now, this is before the new 52, and after Infinite Crisis, the DC Universe had its most eventful year ever. It was a year without Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman, but it was not a year without heroes. This massive 1,216-page hardcover collects the entire year-long run of the weekly series 52. And from Image, we've got The Walking Dead Volume 17, Something to Fear trade paperback. In this volume of the New York Times bestseller survival horror, Rick and his band of survivors work to build a larger network of thriving communities, and soon discover that Negan's saviors proved to be a larger threat than they could have fathomed. Crossing Negan will lead to serious, dire consequences for the group. It seems that for the first time since the Governor's reign of terror, that Rick may have something to fear. Collects The Walking Dead number 97 to 102. Well, that's it for me this week. Still plenty more books at your local comic book shop for you to check out, so be sure to see if there's some other books that you might be interested in there, and let me know what it is that you're reading that I might be overlooking. You can check in with me on my comic book blog at he'sgotissues.com and see what I'm reading as I read it, as well as giving me your feedback. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.